Greetings, Eric Backer, New Zealand naturopath. The country with earthquakes. Yes, we get earthquakes here quite a lot. Thanks for checking out this video. I've got a very interesting case I'm going to present today. I'm going to keep the guy's name private, but I've got all these blood test reports here, and I've got his file here. So this is a legit bona fide case. And I've known this guy now for some time. He's a really cool guy. He's 64 years of age. He went through a really bad patch a few years ago where one of his kids took her life. It was pretty sad. It was devastating, in fact. I'm not going to go into the circumstances because there was a lot more to it than that. In fact, 3 people passed away in this particular incident. So this gentleman went through an amazing amount of stress. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as broken up and as cut up as this guy ever in my clinic in 30 years of practice. I could just feel myself choking up with grief just talking to this guy. That's how bad it was. But anyway, he came back to see me about, when did he come back? 1st of December he came back to see me. And I'll call him Greg. Let's call him Greg. So Greg came back 1st of December and he said, Eric, I've been really tired and sick now for about 3 years. In fact, so tired, and Greg's a really good mechanic. He said, I can't even lift up like spanners and stuff anymore. Like my arms are so sore, so tired. I'm getting weird sensations. I'm getting like weakness of the limbs. My tongue feels weird. It's like burning and shaking. I feel really low in my life, like really depressed, so tired. I've got so much fatigue. I just can't get my head off the pillow. I've got no motivation at all. I feel like crap. I've got sore tummy, sore gut. I've got back pain. I've got muscle pain. And he said, some days I don't want to get out of bed, and sometimes I don't think it's worth living anymore. And I don't like hearing people talk like that. He's a really nice guy. So I said, Greg, let's run some checks on you, mate. Let's do some blood tests. Oh, forget it. I've had all it done. I've been to 3 or 4 doctors. Waste of time. I've been to neurologists. I've been to psychiatrists. I've been to medical doctors. I've been to chiropractors. I've been every damn doctor. I'm sick of doctors. I came to you because I know you, and I just want to see if you can help me out. So anyway, I checked him out and I said, I think you might have a problem with vitamin B12. Has it been tested? He said, I don't know, but they ran hundreds of tests on me. They couldn't find anything wrong with me, so I can't see how another test is going to, find stuff that they couldn't find. So anyway, we went through his diet carefully. And Greg said something very interesting. He said, I stopped eating meat about 10 years ago. I said, why? He said, well, the naturopath told me it was poison, that eating meat would create cancer and you would die from eating meat. It was toxic to eat meat. So anyway, I said, right, we're doing a blood test. We're going to check iron, we're going to check B12 and folate. We're going to check kidney function, we're going to check liver function, we're going to see what the hell's wrong. I checked his blood pressure, it was through the floor. It was like 90 over 60 or something. It was like, the heart was barely going. It was crazy. And he walked like a really old man. I mean, he's not that much older than me, and he looked like a really old guy. So the test blew me away. Okay? So vitamin B12 with this guy is 151, which is really low. So the baseline for B12 is normally about 180 to 200, up to about 800. But in Greg's case, it was 151. So then I read out a whole list of signs and symptoms of B12 deficiency, and Greg had every single sign and symptom of B12 deficiency. Every one. B12 is the most important vitamin for the nervous system. When you get a lack of B12, it creates a lot of problems, allowing the nerves to engage the muscles properly. It creates the nerves to go funny. It creates visual problems, heart problems, brain problems, muscle problems. A keynote symptom of B12 deficiency is a sore tongue or swollen tongue. It can be peripheral neuropathy, which is tingling and numbness in the extremities. And this is exactly what the guy had. But what really blew me away is none of these darn doctors picked it up. Not even the top specialists picked it up. Which shows you how crazy the medical system is. Nobody picked it up. A simple 1,000 microgram injection, the needle, 24 hours later, he would have felt like he won the lotto. Do you guys call it lotto in America? Lotto, or do you call it something else? Lottery. You want the lottery. So when I showed him these test results, he started to cry, and he said, Eric, this is like winning the lottery for me. I said, it is, mate, because when we get some B12 shots into you, you're going to feel amazing. So we've got to get him to have B12 injections, 1 per day, probably 2 a week for 3 to 4 weeks, and the turnaround is going to be pretty impressive. But furthermore, we also found low iron. So his iron is 11. Now for a guy, 11 micromoles per litre is like really, really low, okay? A guy's iron should be a lot higher than that, usually about 15 to 20, maybe 25, and he's 11. So he hasn't really got enough, when you think about it, oxygen carrying capacity. So the red blood cells can't carry enough oxygen around. So he's going to feel, really, really tired. So he's got the exhaustion on top of the B12 issues as well. Now he's a mechanic, and I said, Greg, you got a car with a carburetor, and you need to have a lot of air going to the carburetor to get the engine to run. Now what about if I put my hand over the air intake and I block half the carburetor off and I rev up the engine? What's the motor going to do? It's going to stall, mate. It's not going to run properly. You're choking the motor. You're not giving it air. It can't breathe. Combustion can't take place with this motor. I said, well, that's what we're doing with low iron. It's the same thing. We're choking the body's ability to produce energy because we're not giving enough oxygen for cellular respiration. Okay? The body can have as much glucose or sugar as it wants, but if it ain't got oxygen, it's not going to combust. So this is going to make you tired. It's also going to build up a lot of deposits in the body of waste deposits and crap. And that's exactly what he's got. He's got creatinine, so his kidney function's going up the creek now because he can't produce energy properly. He can't get rid of the waste because of the malfunctioning energy production. Now his kidneys are playing up. None of these tests were done by the doctors. The kidney function is showing, basically, I hope you didn't see the guy's name there. So the kidney function there is basically showing that he's an old man, a really old man. All right, because these kidney results are what I see in someone who's very sick and elderly. Am I going to work on the kidney? Yes, I am. We're going to give him a kidney tonic just to engage the kidneys to allow more clearance of muscular waste. We're going to give iron, and we're going to give B12 injections. Now, I can guarantee you, when that guy comes back, he's going to feel like he's won the lottery. All right, and this is what makes my job worthwhile, is getting hold of people that are sick and decrepit and have had no answers from the medical system, simple testing, and we get the results we're looking for. So if you're not eating meat, if you're tired, if you've got symptoms like depression, tingling, numbness, weird tongue sensations, very low motivation, really tired and weak all the time and not motivated to do things, especially if there's any back pain involved or low iron, think about it carefully. You may well need to have this kind of a treatment as well. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.